to use AI for business. By the end of this video, you'll be able to employ 5 steps for using AI in your business. But not so fast. The first thing we're going to do is identify if you do or do not even need AI in your business. Next, we're going to look at the crucial step that most organizations skip that make adopting AI much more bulky and wasteful. And then lastly, you're going to know the factors you should consider before you leverage any new AI solutions. Let's go. The first thing you want to do when you're thinking about employing AI in your business is understand your business needs. Oftentimes, organizations, in a rush to stay ahead of the curve, see a new technology and they start to try to figure out how to integrate it without actually figuring out if it serves a purpose within their organization. Do you have any specific business needs right now that AI can actually help you with? So perhaps it's with customer engagement. Maybe it's in processing data. If there's specific things within your organization that you know that AI can help you do more efficiently or effectively, or help you build better relationships with your clients or your vendors, well then AI might make sense for you. But you do have to look at what the business case is, what solutions it will solve that you already know that you need solved. Don't go out looking for technology and then looking for problems that it can solve. Identify the problems or the opportunities you already have, and then find the technology that can help you with that. In this case, potentially AI. Now, this next step is easily the least sexy step whatsoever, but it's actually the most important step. And that's actually gathering your data and organizing it and getting it cleaned up. AI is nothing but technology that runs based on processing large amounts of data to give you good outputs, right? And so if you do not have your data in an organized format where it can actually read through it, recognize patterns, and draw insights from it, then it's not really helpful to you. So make sure that you have all of your data, whether that's customer data, whether that's machine data, whether it has to do with your products, or even your processes. Whatever data that you have around those things, you need to make sure that it's easily accessible and that it's cleaned up so that you can plug that into your AI so that it can be much more effective and you're not wasting time, because this will be not a small investment in most cases. Now let's talk about choosing AI solutions. The first one kind of goes back to an earlier point, which is making sure that the solutions you're looking at actually align with your actual needs, but also your budget. We do have to make sure that we're keeping in mind our budget. We don't want to stretch ourselves beyond what is reasonable. We also want to consider factors like scalability. If your AI works and it helps you with your organization and you plan on growing, what happens if your organization grows by 30% in the next year? What happens if it doubles over the next 2 years? Is the AI technology that you're using or that you're looking at implementing, is it something that it will scale with the organization? If not, you may want to look at technology that's the next level up that will allow you to scale and grow. Here's a factor that many organizations don't necessarily consider, because oftentimes the decision makers are not the ones who actually have to use the technology. But is the technology actually user friendly? Is it something that your team members can actually figure out how to use? And if you want to know, rather than having the folks at the top of the food chain make all the decisions, have some of the end users or the potential end users within your organization test it out. In addition to that, have them look into the reputation for the customer service of the company that's offering the AI solution to you. If they do not have a reputation of getting back to their clients very quickly, or maybe they're brand new, and when your own team members reach out with questions, they're not very quick to offer follow-up, they're not very helpful, then while their solution might look amazing on the outside, when it comes to integrating it into your organization, it might be a huge failure. So you want to make sure that it's user-friendly, but not just user-friendly. Let's take this a step forward. We also want to make sure that it coincides with the culture of your organization. Does it make sense? For instance, if your organization is known for handwriting XYZ, and that's just part of the culture, then bringing in AI that allows you to automate the process and have a pen where it's writing out everything, that may or may not work. So we do have to think about the culture as we integrate the technology as well, because that's going to play a part in the user friendliness and how likely your team is to even want to use the technology in the first place. And then lastly, you want to look at integration capabilities. And so when you're using different technologies within an organization, the best case scenario is that they're all by the same organization or company, because then they integrate very easily. But if you're using different technologies from different brands, you want to make sure that they have a relationship to each other, that they're willing to work with each other, and that they do integrate properly with each other before you make massive investments. I've seen that go left many times in organizations I've been a part of, and also some of my client organizations. So these are things you want to check out ahead of time. So let's take a break for just a moment in figuring out how to integrate AI within your organization. And let me just ask you a question. Have you already subscribed to this YouTube channel? If not, take a moment, go ahead and subscribe. I'll be here. Go ahead, get it done. All right, so step number 4 when it comes to integrating AI is to pilot and test it. Don't roll it out to the whole organization. Don't put all the data in there. Start with a very small section of your organization and pilot it and test it out first. Once you work out the kinks, once you get back with the organization to help them make any types of changes that you need to the technology so that it'll work, at that point, that's when you can scale it out to the entire organization. But do not roll it out to the whole organization at one time if you're a sizable organization. It's one thing if you're a small business and there's, 20, 30, maybe even 200 people. You might be able to get away with that. But if you're looking at a massive organization, going ahead and scaling something out automatically when it comes to technology is a recipe for disaster. And you know that there's going to be some people that have resistance to the technology anyway. And so they'll be looking for any excuse to say that it was a mistake. So we want to make sure that we minimize those excuses. Speaking of which, if you want to get people on your side when it comes to implementing the technology, as you're piloting it, make sure that you have those team members give their input. What are the things that should be shifted? Make sure that they have a piece of the pie. Make sure that they feel some ownership of the success of this rollout so that they're more likely to go out as influencers within your organization and tell other people how amazing the technology is and how it makes their jobs better and it helps you serve customers better as well. The last step is to monitor and improve. So even once everything else is in place, you have your people in place, you've already tested it, you've scaled it out to the entire company, go ahead and schedule regular periods where you're actually evaluating the effectiveness. Are there things that could be done differently? Are there things that could be done better? Do you need ongoing training with your teams? Is there any type of training that needs to happen at HR when someone first enters into the organization so that they can wrap their minds around how the organization works with this AI technology? And so it's a constant improvement process. You've probably heard of the term agile, which basically is referring to the process of continuous improvement. Once upon a time when technology was rolled out, it was already finished. This was a finished product. You got it. You may have gotten it on a disc. You have it. Now technology is constantly improving and changing. That's why we have so many subscription models now. That, and it's a better way for them to make money. But they're constantly changing and making adaptations. Make sure that you have team members on board who know that their feedback matters. You might even want to create a system on your intranet within your organization so that team members can give their input and make suggestions on how to improve the processes. Whatever process improvement methods you have, you want to make it very simple for all team members to know where to go, where they can make their suggestions to make the technology better. Because at the end of the day, if the technology works better and the team members are excited because they see that their ideas are being implemented, they're more likely to use it, and that should improve the customer experience as well. Speaking of improving things, we're talking about how you can implement AI into your business, what the steps are, so we're looking forward towards the future. Well, I actually have a gift for you along those same lines in terms of looking towards the future. If you go in the description of this video right now, you're going to see that there's a link to download a Future Ready Playbook. This playbook is chock full of all kinds of activities that are going to help you plan to hit your goals in the future. Now, you might be saying, there's all kinds of tools you can use for goal setting. I already use those. This is a little bit different because it takes a futurist perspective so that you're future-proofing your goals so that even if the world isn't going in the direction you're expecting, you can still come out on top. So take a moment and download it right now.